Live on the Gaggers.
Live on the Gaggers. Wait, what? That's the first line I just said. I just repeat things that I hear people say. We are now live. Mitch is like, how's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Monday night.
Happy Monday. We are continuing our Heart campaign here. We're getting towards the end. Only got a couple more of these sessions left, most likely. Could end tonight. Who knows? After the cliffhanger last week, but yeah, we got a little bit of a pickle you guys are in. So why don't we do some quick plugs so I can stall and figure out where I put the notes that I need. And Chuck, go ahead. What are you doing this week?
This week on Defenders of Kobold, Wednesday we're running some Tiny Dungeons. Thursday we're running some Mutant Crawl Classics. We're actually going to be running I'll be running the Metamorphosis Alpha adventure. What are the prisoners of Wreck Lock 119?
What night are you doing that on?
Thursday.
All right, that means I don't have to prep MCC for this Thursday then for you.
Yeah, you do not need to do that. Next Thursday I'm open.
All right, next Thursday it is. We're playing at MCC.
Very cool.
I'll put it in the Discord.
There we go. So yeah, then Friday Joe's running some the Hollow Throne, his newish 5th edition campaign. Saturday we don't have anything on the stream on Saturday. So yeah, that's
What? That's strange.
I can't say I'm not running anything. We're just not streaming anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not taking a cue from Matt and running an off-stream MCC game.
Oh, wink, wink.
Nice.
Wink, wink. So yeah, that's Defenders of Kobold this week.
Cool. Matt, what do you got going this week?
I will say those off-stream games are kind of relaxing. They're therapeutic, aren't they, Chuck?
Refreshing, right?
Right.
Invigorating.
You don't have to be on all the time.
I've been playing Spectaculars with Jeremy the past couple of weeks.
Nice.
And yeah, I can't believe how relaxing it is. It's just
It's like hanging out with buddies. But hey, we're here to entertain people too.
Yeah.
But
and we're not
it's a
buddies. Yeah, no.
don't call me buddy, guy.
Don't call me
buddy,
buddy.
pal.
The camera's off.
What I got going on? I'm only running one game this week. I got nothing tomorrow.
Lucky
Slacker.
you.
Sunday we're taking off because it's Father's Day. But Saturday I'm running Mutineer Zero over on the Grim and Perilous Plays channel. So twitch.tv/Grim and Perilous Plays, Mutineer Zero at 8:30 Central Standard Time PM. Tune in for the next chapter in that. We're playing that. We're doing little bits of the Grey Death mixed in with everything else.
Nice.
So.
Very nice. Melissa, do you know what we're doing on the channel this week?
So on Zweihander RPG, we are doing our next episode of our Unsettled Stem on Thursday night.
Yep.
At 7 Pacific, 9 Central.
Yeah.
On Saturday, 4 Pacific, 6 Central, we are doing Mutineer Zero Gen Lab Alpha here on this channel.
And I think, Chuck, I think, don't we have Shadowrun on Sunday? Next Sunday, are we doing?
We do. We have
do.
on Notorious DMG on Father's Day.
Yep.
Bert's running some more Shadowrun for us.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's a ton of fun on that one. I'm having so much fun with that. So
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff going on this week. Plus we have to do a podcast recording on Friday too. So we're running like 3-4 days in a row. Okay. No problem.
Staying busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm enjoying this light week.
Yeah.
One game? What is this?
I'm looking forward to having a light week.
What's that like?
I think at this point I'm playing every day this week, but tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Until Tuesdays, I've got Tuesdays off from games, and I don't have another day off in a week other than Tuesdays until July 2nd.
Tuesdays are like the only day I consistently have off because we sometimes record our podcast on Wednesday and sometimes it's all that moves all over the place. The audio,
which is funny because for years Tuesday was our game night.
That was our game night.
Yeah.
Like for 5 consecutive years, barely missed
Then it
anything.
totally flipped.
And then
every day but Tuesday.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So anyway, let's get started. So let's talk about Heart. So Heart, last week we all came back to the Thane Temple of Sagacity, where the whole campaign started. Things look different. The central forum on which eternal debate had to continue, or else something cataclysmic would happen. Well, that eternal debate stopped because of the whatever creature or entity or power that was forcing these orators to suddenly shift and wander away. And the forum collapsed inwards, revealing a new delve that connected to a place called the Undertrench. All these little mechano-crabs were coming up that new delve, and there was water that was filling the temple at Athene, which is basically like Venice now, where there's people sitting on top of rooftops and occasionally people wandering around in rafts. So you all decided, after, I think, dropping off Bernthos, meeting an alligator, and a couple other... someone did a pole vault, I remember.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Because it was absolutely wrong for me to do so, but I did.
But I saw it happen.
Yeah.
So it
I
happened
think I
successfully.
crit success.
You did
that
crit
one.
succeed. It was like, you got like 10, 10, 10, and then the Ukrainian judges gave you a 9.5, so it sucks.
Of course.
But you all descended the slumbering depths, and let's see, and then, not the slumbering depths, excuse me, you descended to the Undertrench, and that's where you entered into this spherical mechanical city of sorts, where it seems to have some sort of unique association with gravity because it's just one big sphere, and you can kind of just continue to walk up and around. And at the center of that sphere is this big ball of water, and there are all these behemoth crabs that you've seen before, wandering all over the place in between these buildings and such. You played around with some recycler. You started dropping like the crabs in the recycler and getting supplies out from it. And then at a certain point, a voice, some sort of mechanized voice, shouted about like intruders or something, or invaders. And one of the crab behemoths left its post by these different streams. The only things that were kind of connecting to that central ball of water in the middle were these streams coming out of a couple different places around the exterior. And this crab behemoth just starts rumbling in the direction of you all, where you are inside outside of this building with one of these recyclers. So that's where we're going to start. So let's get some, hopefully not going to get us shut down music going. And yeah. So tabletop audio credit. Okay. All right. So you see, it's not on you yet. So this would be at a rate. It's still, I would say about 150 yards away from you, but you can see it coming at you. It's like a mini kaiju, kind of moving between it like a really large elephant or something. And from where you are all scattered around this recycling building, the little tiny mechano-crabs you had already taken care of. What do you guys want to do? It's making a beeline right for where you all were.
I was curious.
Or R?
R, because you guys are in that recycling facility. That's where you guys are, and it's going right in the direction of that recycling facility.
I was curious if there's one of those arches that connects to this center here.
It's more of a stream of water. It looks like it's like the center. It's almost like a cooling system. It's like almost like there's different streams of water going up and kind of cooling and cycling around something in the center of the sphere. The closest one is the one that this crab is coming from, so it's on the other side of it.
Dang. I wanted to see about looking into one of those, but it sounds like we gotta get through the crab battle.
So you guys can see it. The buildings here are like 2 stories at max. You probably have a good minute or two before it gets here. If there's something that you're looking to flee, hide, set up shop, whatever it is you want to do.
I wouldn't be opposed to hiding.
I can. Do you want me to secrete a bunch of sticky stuff on the ground that's flammable? So
yeah, that's a good idea.
Put it in its path. If it's going right for us, maybe I should start walking back and forth and make like a big line of
trail
secretions for it to walk through and get stuck in, and then we light it on fire.
I'm 100% behind that plan.
Start.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, remove my shoes and socks.
How fast can we tell this thing's moving? Does it seem to be moving much faster than we'd be able to outrun, or?
It would probably, assuming a flat expanse, it would probably be able to catch you, but you never know with like the circuitous routes here and there.
Okay.
But it's not like it's not bizarrely fast or anything. It's as fast as you would think a stampeding elephant might be.
Okay.
Faster than I would like it to be.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't get up the thing, then it seems like just trying to hide and ambush would be useful.
All right, so where's
Yeah, we should
everyone?
get to high ground once I put my secretions down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you go ahead and you got your secretions. That'll probably take up like half of the prep time that you'll have, and then the rest of you, are you hiding?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do need to stay somewhat ready so I can start those secretions on fire. So
Okay. So you look up and you can see that there is like a rooftop that you could potentially get up to. There is a ladder, but it's kind of an awkward ladder because it seems to be not a ladder. I mean staircase, like this kind of strange small step staircase, like for these little crabs to start climbing up. But you can climb up that pretty easily and get to the second floor. So it kind of comes out onto the rooftop if you wanted. And that would give you a kind of a good look down at where the secretions were.
I'll do that.
Okay.
When
now,
I'm
if
done
he's on the-
secreting, I want to go up there as well.
All right.
If he's on the second floor of this roof, does that put him above the height of this, or like?
You would
I'm
say when you look at it, I would say the height of this thing is probably 15 to 20 feet, and then it's got really big claws, and those claws might give it extra reach. So it's probably not. You're probably not out of range of it on a two-story building, but
I'm probably out of range of me though.
Do we see how to get out of this sphere?
so you can try to go back the way you came, meaning you can try to climb back up the delve to Athane.
Okay.
But there's something. But apparently, what was going on is that they kept sending these kind of crabs up. They were sending these huge spouts of water, like it was flooding the city above. So it's a danger to the haven.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Okay.
think I'll probably stay on the ground floor,
Okay.
probably by the exit or something like that if I need to get out there and try to attack its little pointy feet or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a spell that's range, so I would stay up.
All right. So we've got Morthos, Duvesa, Kethras. Are you on the roof as well?
Yeah, I'll climb up.
And Zerk, all four of you on the roofs. Tarnished, you're staying on the ground, ready to go with your car door.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing
My
comes.
dragon slaying sword, which I should get to roll d12s with.
Okay.
Nice.
And so you see this thing burst through this small building. It just kind of knocks it over, and you see it splinters into a bunch of different pieces of stone and metal. And it starts walking over one of your secretions, Zerk. So Morthos, you can go ahead with a knack, I would say. So you can roll this with mastery. Just shoot and take a kill shot, because you're not shooting at it. You're shooting more at the fire on the ground. So or the secretion at the ground.
And it's also, should it get stuck in it, it's supposed to be like a ridiculously
Okay.
strong glue.
So you see this thing suddenly right in front of you, Tarnished. It kind of starts to, some of its tiny little mechanical feet become globbed in it.
Nice.
That's a good start.
There we go.
That's a really good start.
Excellent.
All right. What's your normal stress die for that?
My normal stress die is that a D6? Yeah, it's a D6.
It should be the revolver. Are you using the revolver or using a spell?
I'm using spell. I'm using my
Okay.
fire.
So bump it up to D8 and roll D8 damage. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Good
Solid.
start. All right. So you see as this thing comes up, and all of a sudden it has all these tiny little feet, more than a normal crab would have, but they all kind of get locked up in this little secreting, and it begins to slow its movement and its progress towards the building. I would say right now, probably the only person that's actually within reach of currently is Tarnished. It would probably have to move a little bit more to be able to swipe at those of you on the rooftop. Who's doing something?
Yeah. Judging by him obliterating the other building, the goal is to stop him from obliterating the building that we're all on.
Sure.
I can use my ranged Grim Reaper attack on him,
Yeah.
and I'll use the opportunity of it getting stuck. So I can make a D8 ranged. My Spectre goes out and swipes at him.
Okay. Do you have to roll? You have to roll kill for this. Kill tech for this.
Yeah, I imagine it would be just like an attack, normal attack.
Okay. Kill tech, and since he's slowed by that, you can take mastery on that. Like, it's really obvious and easy to hit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Roll your damage.
4.
All right. So this thing is reaching out and kind of swiping and whiffing at the building itself, just trying to go after where all of these different projectiles are coming from. Who else is doing something?
I am going to use my big bow, my extinction bow.
Okay.
Nice.
What skill and domain?
This is kill and tech.
I don't have tech. All right. Kill.
Okay. So as you kind of look over and go and take the shot, you're trying to line it up, get that perfect shot. You can see that your bowstring just kind of rips on you at that point. Go ahead and we'll say take 5 points of fortune stress.
Okay.
And 3 is the roll for fallout.
That is under.
All right. Okay, so then it's a minor. So let me get up my list here. All right, so we'll say broken. We'll say your bow is broken as you're sitting there, and it breaks. It's ongoing. You cannot use it until you take the time and resources to repair it. So there you go. Okay.
Interesting.
And this thing.
That's one of my abilities, though. That bow. It's not
is it?
just
My
like
bad.
regular gear. Yeah, it's
Let's
an ability.
Okay, then let's do. Okay, let's just do foreboding. So as you're going to look, and your bow just kind of breaks on you, you look out past, and you can see that one of the other behemoths in the far distance. This thing's probably like a half a mile away. Halfway up the curve by one of the other streams, you see it suddenly turns around as if it's suddenly not doing what it has been. They all seem to be kind of like ripping or pulling at something in the ground, and this thing is suddenly turned around as if it's unsure. When you look up, you can see that this huge mechanical arm has protruded out of the watery sphere above you all, that kind of glowing blue-green sphere above you, and has begun almost like searching for something below, and it's not quite sure, but it's getting nearer and nearer to you all. So we'll say foreboding.
Oh no.
Okay.
And the minor does not reset my stress, right? Only the major does?
It only resets fortune stress.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Who is next? This thing is beginning to get out of that sort of slowed down
keep
secretion.
him stuck there if I can.
Okay. So you're looking to just block him, or are you actually looking to
I kind of
attack?
want to try and attack at his legs and see if I can stall him a little further.
Kill tech, go for it.
All right, let's see if I get lucky. Yeah.
Okay.
Not too bad.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna go ahead and use overclock as well.
Okay. What's that do?
I have to roll a D4 fortune stress. So I'll just do that right now.
All right.
I've got protection to
So you
negate
don't-
that, and I get to add piercing and brutal.
Okay. So
to my
brutal
attack.
means you can roll 2 damage die and take the higher. Piercing does not actually currently have protection, so you're good.
Okay, let me
Oh.
double check.
Nope. Actually,
If
yeah, it
it's
does. Sorry.
Significantly larger than myself, I get to roll it's a D10.
It does have protection. I don't know what I was talking about.
Okay. I'll roll 1. That sucks, and the second one is better.
Okay. So it bypasses. So it's gonna buy. So you can see where some of the fire that's been burning up around it. It's scorching the carapace of this thing. This metal carapace doesn't seem to be hitting any of the internal machinery yet, bypassing it. Kethras' shot also seemed to. It managed to kind of pierce through this outer carapace, but you are able to, being so close to it, able to get underneath one of those outer shells and cut through it, you can see one of its legs begin to sort of dangle in this strange way.
Excellent.
And then doing so, it's going to swoop down with its giant lobster claw to try
Yes, indeed.
to take you out as well. So you're going to be taking, double checking my stress here. This thing also has brutal. All right.
At least, hopefully, it doesn't have piercing also.
It does not. 7 points of blood stress as this thing just tries to smash him with like the blunt side of this big mechanical metal lobster claw. All right.
We'll take 3 of that. So.
All right. Okay, so I got to roll since you took some. 3.
Damn it! I have 4.
Okay, look at that. It's equal to or under.
Yeah.
Oh,
I take fallout, so.
It's a minor. You're okay. It's not going to be too bad. All right, so we'll say ringing head. It just smashed you on the head with the blunt side of its lobster claw. The next action you take is dangerous. The next one risky, and then you remove the fallout. So just ringing in the head. A little bit of a concussion. All right, who is next? This thing still looks in decent shape. It seems to be pretty big, and it's now at this point pushing past the secretion, getting closer to the building. You would imagine it can probably reach out and strike at you all on the rooftops now.
So Jeff, question for you.
Sure.
I have exsanguinate.
Yeah.
But this thing doesn't have blood.
Yeah, but it might.
Do you think that might be useless, or it might pull other viscera from something?
I mean, it's got oils and stuff to grease up its various mechanisms, so we'll say it can do something like that.
Okay, so then I'm going to turn into my true form. Doing that then gives me mastery on kill, and then I'm going to do exsanguinate, which is a D6 kill.
Okay.
But I don't actually have kill or tech, so that's just going to be 2.
Okay, go for it. All right. So as you step forward, this strange swirling tornado of bone and viscera and whatever the hell else it was, you try to reach down and get it to pull some of its oils and to slow down its reactions, but in doing so, like, you feel this sort of strange pull from above you. When you look up, you can see that the center of that spherical greenish blue ball is kind of pulsing this red and orange. And when all of you look up and then look down at Duvesa, you can see that in the center of her swirling tornado, something something like reddish orange is beginning to pulse, and these little fragments begin to float upwards.
Should we target that thing?
You can take. Sorry, holy shit! You take.
Oh my goodness!
I'm supposed to take 10.
So technically, the way this works, I always forget this shit, but like, they have like weapon die just like you guys do, and so when you guys are fighting them, even though narratively I'm describing the damage coming from other places, I'm still supposed to roll the damage die from this particular creature. So, 10 points of echo stress.
Oh goodness!
Well,
He's
right then.
doling out the harshness there.
I bet he's gonna roll into that.
I just rolled. I have brutal, so it's like 2d10. So, yeah, whatever. Okay, so take 10 points of echo.
I took 8.
Wow, and 7.
Actually, hold on. Before you do that,
Holding on.
I am going to do Crucible.
Okay.
I get to roll a d6, and I get to
reduce.
Oh,
I'm gonna kill him.
So I reduce it by 2. So that brings me down to a 6, and you rolled a 7, so I'm okay.
Total stress. Do you have stress in any other categories?
No, I cleared before we left.
Okay, so yeah, you're good. Okay. Whew, good use of good use of Crucible.
Worked for once.
Okay. Okay, but yes, you do see this thing starting to pulse above you.
But in my failure, we all learned something. Look up.
Okay. And as you see those little particulates begin to whirl away from her, the arm, that mechanical arm that Zerk had seen protrude out, begins sweeping slowly in your direction, like a slow, like rumbling bowling alley machine claw thing. It's kind of coming in your directions.
It's gonna scoop us up.
Who's next?
I'll go. I'm gonna, over this railing, I'm gonna use my fire spell
Okay.
at this asshole again.
I'm gonna say it's still got the goo on him, so you can roll up mastery.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be easier to ignite.
So with mastery on kill, that gives me 3 dice. And I forgot last time that my fire, it's a d6 stress, but it's also piercing.
Okay.
So,
All right. So then
Nice.
that's 3 more damage to it then. All right. It's got protection 3. All right. So fire goes down. So yeah, like some of the residue that kind of splashed up on parts of its carapace have now ignited, and it's scorching it. You can see black marks starting to show up on some of the metal. Go ahead and roll your damage.
oh, 6.
Very
Nicely done.
6 piercing.
Piercing. That's really good too. Okay. And so that you can see the fire has started to spread underneath the carapace itself into the seams where some of the wires and the other machinery aren't as properly protected, and you can actually hear this mechanized like a painful scream coming out from it. And then up above you can see as a second mechanical arm has swept out, and there's 2 big old mechanical arms protruding from this overarching sphere above you that are searching around. One of them is getting remarkably close to you all. When you look off in the distance, the other crab behemoth is probably a good 3-4 minutes from catching up to you all. If you don't take care of this quickly, you might have to face 2 of them very soon at the same time.
These mechanical arms, do they look humanoid-ish? Like, do they have hands, fingers, or is it just like a
It's like
claw?
it's like a claw. It's like 2. It's like a grab of like maybe like 2, and then like 1 sort of thumb reaching down as if it's going to grab stuff.
Are we getting claw gamed? I mean,
Yeah, we are.
The claw?
So this thing is going to
I knew
swing
it, Joe.
out.
I knew it.
The seeing where the fire is coming from at this point, as it's getting closer, it's going to wildly swing up at the rooftop. It's going to clip the top edge, taking off some of the brick and metal railings, and it's going to get Morthos in that swipe. Morthos, take 9 blood.
Ow.
Oh gosh.
9? Let's get out of here. Let's put away.
All right. I have protection 1.
You can see, You can see, by the way, that the fire has actually ignited underneath the carapace. So you've definitely made some progress on it, for sure.
My current is 13.
Man, you are rolling just under everything.
That's
tonight.
a 7. So let's see. That's a major blood.
Yep, sounds about right.
Do you have any other going on right now that I should know?
I have the Phantasm Dark Cravings, which was also a major.
Okay. Well, no, we won't combine them just yet to critical.
Okay.
Not yet.
I say, didn't you choose to keep that one?
I did.
Okay, we'll say that this thing's going to swing through you, and you're going to see as Morthos gets caught up in the lobster claw and goes flinging off the roof, kind of landing somewhere down on the street level. So we're going to say downed. As you fall to the ground with some of that stone and the railing that was up top on the roof falls on top of you. So you are downed. It's ongoing. You can't move under your own power, and you're barely clinging on to consciousness as this rubble is literally sitting on top of you. You can be moved around by others, but without medical attention, you're not going anywhere. This can be upgraded to dying.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Goodness.
oh,
Upgraded to dying.
ow.
Oh.
I might
Ow.
encourage
I think we
everybody
should-
to try and deal with Morthos, and
Okay,
I
I'm gonna
will
jump
attempt
and
to
try and
hold
help
the
him out with
creature
that.
at bay.
Okay.
I'm definitely jumping on, trying to get him out from under that.
Okay, so you're gonna move down. You can probably easily enough climb down the side of the building, and try to move him out from underneath there. You're just gonna try.
I want to try
safety.
and help as well. I want to try and get Morthos out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of you go ahead and roll an evade. We can call this.
I'm more than happy to just attack it if that makes a distraction.
We'll say the 2 of them are doing this, so we'll say evade tech is good. I can
Do you
also
have either
say
of those?
evade Haven, since this is like a building street area and you're like dodging.
I have
between
evade
them.
and haven.
All right, you should do that.
And take an assist
And I-
die. Take an assist die from Kethras.
Yep.
As the two of you have now climbed down and are pulling Morthos away and out of the rubble.
Let's go,
Ouch.
Morthos.
And
Get
you-
the hell out of here.
And you're able to do so, and you move him around the corner from the building, so that no longer there's the big old behemoth crab have vision of you all. Duvesa, you're still on the roof. Tarnished, you're still on the ground, shield up, facing this thing toe to toe. What do you want to do?
I'll
All
try
right.
to do another shot.
Okay, go for it. Kill tech still.
Yeah.
I also am on the side of madness and danger.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, there we
That's a
go.
success.
That is. Hey, I got good news and bad news for you in a minute, but go ahead.
Oh
So,
no.
It'll be a D8.
so, y'all played 4th edition, bloodied
Nope.
and such.
Yeah.
Mhm,
A little
mhm.
bit of that stuff about to go on. Okay, so 6 points.
Oh. Oh no.
So you can see as this thing has started to get some wear and tear, and a lot of its carapace, and the outer carapace has been burnt. You can see blackness is now covering what once was a fairly shiny, chromy looking, and actually really nice looking, like just off the assembly line floor type of look to it. The interior bits, the kind of the wiring and the circuitry on the inside of this connecting all these different carapaces and moving pieces is on fire. This thing suddenly, you see it suddenly begin to spring to life as if it's moving even faster, and out underneath, like from it's kind of standing up at this point, almost as if it's on like two, like on its hind legs, a second set of these claws come out. So now it's got like 4 claws.
Now it's serious.
Yeah. So, yep. Okay. No stress on that for Duvesa, but this thing's ready to go, and it's kind of swinging up at the wildly at the rooftop, but you're managing to sweep underneath it in your true form.
All you, Tarnished-Steel.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that something I have will help me here.
Okay.
I took a point in applied research. Once per situation, when you inflict stress on an adversary, you can identify its weak spots. For the remainder of the situation, treat your adversary's difficult as 1 step lower. Will that help me with my fallout?
With your fallout, it doesn't.
Difficult to risky to standard?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I get you, because you had. So what just basically happened with this creature is that it hit a specific threshold, so that now all attacks on it are going to be risky, whereas before it was standard. Now it's risky.
Okay, so in this case,
It would
I'll
help.
keep it at standard.
So in this case, you would have been at dangerous for this one.
I'm still at dangerous no matter what. But
So-
when I get back to standard, I can continue rolling
Right.
at standard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page now. Yeah. So just roll this first one at dangerous. Yeah.
Ah. Oh, bad.
Go ahead and invoke my once a session. Let me find it again. Dire portents. You can reroll. So
Nice.
you
I do appreciate
you saw
it.
how not to do it, and you
Okay.
give it a shot.
You got this, Tarnished.
You got this, man.
Oh,
Oh,
Original results?
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
That's a shame. So
The GM's cackling at you. It's never a good sign.
That's so good. So Duvesa is shouting down to you in her whirlwind form. So this voice is coming out of this craziness that's just swirling up there. And I guess something that she was communicating just didn't come together quickly. And as you look up, they're like, wait, what'd you say? The 2 brand new brandished lobster claws come out. And they start sweeping down and cutting through you. So this is going to be brutal.
I hope your 2d10s roll super low.
And I get to multiply it, whatever the highest die is, by 2.
oh shit.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no. No.
Oh.
That's 20 damage.
You're dead. You are
Basi-
dead, Tarnished Steel.
Holy shit.
Basically,
Christ.
yeah. I mean, if I could use my plate, I could reduce it. But,
Go ahead, use your plate.
I'll consume. Unfortunately, I think I can only consume one
I think
resource.
it's tech or occult for you, isn't it?
I can do tech, occult, or cursed because I took
Okay.
a perk, so I can take that D10
Okay.
cursed I have. And get a 2. Oh.
Okay.
Oh no.
So that reduces it to 18, plus you have protection.
Yeah, which makes it 14.
So you take 14, and so let me roll a fallout check.
I hope it's a
This is
I need
7.
to just stop saying things.
Just enough for it to be a major. Do you have any other major blood fallout going on right now?
I don't.
Okay. Well, wasn't the smash
minor.
head? Okay. Oh, that's minor. Okay. All right. So then, I don't think you're dead, because I can only really take 2 majors together. But I'm gonna say critical injury is an ongoing major. As this thing cuts through you, what skills do you use particularly well? Do you have what skills do you have?
Delve, endure, kill.
Okay. Let's do a 50-50 on this. 1, 2, 3. It'll be kill, otherwise endure. Okay, so you can no longer use kill as these claws start ripping away at you. Your arm gets caught up and yanked and wrenched free, and you can see it's just kind of limply hanging there, bone protruding out by the elbow, bits of tissue beginning to form, blood splurting all over the place like it's a Tarantino movie.
Roll 20s having nothing to do with me today.
And you are, so you have an ongoing critical injury. And I'll say, because you took so much damage, if you take another, I think if you take another blood fallout, we might have to get into the critical talk. Which would be good. Yeah, you're getting beat up pretty bad.
Unfortunately, I made a poor decision about my beat today. So.
Okay. So.
Refuse to back down.
I know. I saw that too.
To do so.
Hey, look, bright side. You got your minor beat done.
True.
Yeah.
That's pro God situation.
I guess I can cross that off.
Okay, so Devesa, you see all this happening. The 3 of them probably don't see it as they're around the corner.
Spit on me, please.
Who's doing something?
So,
I don't. Well, not
so
right
I do
now.
have a question about that. So, if I have lost access to the mend skill,
Yeah.
does that mean like I am not allowed to attempt to mend, or it just means like I don't get the dice?
You don't have the dice.
Okay.
You can anyone can always roll any skill.
Now,
That's what I-
fortunately,
It's just
my
whether they
stress
have
is all cleared out. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna try to.
I'd say you are very much on the verge of death. One more, even a minor, since you already have 1 minor blood, and then you have a major blood, and you just took a shitload of damage. Even a minor blood, I think, is probably gonna push you over the edge at this point.
Mm-hmm. That was such a disappointment on that D10, though.
I think we need to run. Just saying. Tarnished.
Matt's mentioned that a few
Yeah.
times.
Let's
I
get
know.
out of here.
Seeing
Yeah.
him take injury like that, it's probably a good idea.
I will tell you that this thing is closer to death than it is to full health.
It's like that scene from the Three Amigos where they shoot them with real bullets, and they're like, "Real bullets? Give me that gun." Empties
Tarnished
it
Steel,
out.
you should run. I probably
Using
still
real
have a little
bullets.
bit. Try
I
this
think I
again.
want to try and do some more damage on it. But
Okay.
Are we all rolling at risky now, though? Or
You are rolling at risky now. Yeah, it hit its
Against
threshold.
So do we want to keep attacking it, even though we're almost dying?
That's
one
a
of us.
hard no for me.
I think we should get the hell out of here. We're dragging Morthos, whose legs are.
Yeah.
I've
Wait,
still
Risky
got...
takes out 2.
I do realize I should have double checked.
Risky takes out 2.
My roll started
One.
at dangerous, right? And then difficult, then risky.
Yeah. So, well, it's dangerous, then risky, then standard.
Because I've still got
I'll
Okay.
do one more.
my
From the-
once
okay.
per session don't get fallout.
Oh! Oh, no!
gosh.
What
As
was
a-
that roll for,
I'll
Duvesa?
I'll just do one more spell shot on my way out, and I
Okay.
rolled one.
So,
It's all falling apart. This is the last session, everybody.
dear God. All right.
Apparently.
Lesson next week. Okay, so as you it's 2 brand new brandish claws from underneath the carapace are ripping away at Tarnished Steel. And while the 2 of them are just ripping away at Tarnished Steel, the 2 big lobster claws come sweeping in at Duvesa at this point. And despite the fact that you are in some kind of some kind of whirlwind form, they're still going to be able to make physical contact with the bones and things that are swirling about. So take 12 points of blood,
Eek.
and I'll do a full-out check. And that should be a minor blood for you. Is that right? I think that's
Yeah.
right, because what am I talking about? Of course it is. Okay, so we'll say
I already have a major blood.
this is a minor. Okay. Let's say Okay. This has been the most exhausting fight. You've just cast a couple spells. They have not gone well. I'm going to give you tired, ongoing. You're weary. You're going to make bad decisions and snap at your friends. You cannot gain extra dice from skills.
Ouch.
Ugh. For how long?
It's on until it's
ongoing.
healed. Until it's healed.
Please don't hurt us, witch.
Yeah.
All right, Kethras, you said you wanted to do something.
Yeah, but I have my like once per session thing where I don't take fallout, so might as well keep throwing dice at it until
Okay.
that.
That's what I
So-
thought, and then I rolled a 1.
There you go. Got
Look
your-
at that.
Awesome. All right.
I'm running up on it, trying to
You're
stab
offsetting
it with my
our bad
D6.
luck.
That's a good roll. All right. So while its claws are busy with these two other targets, you come running up behind it.
Perfect
and
opportunity.
It's stretched out.
Yeah.
You can slide between the carapace. You start hacking away at whatever you can get in there, wires, gear, machinery, and you certainly do some damage as you see it start to kind of rigidly start to move a bit. Still seems to be ticking, however.
Okay.
I want to drag Morthos away
Okay.
to safety.
I'm not even going to require a roll
I
since the two of
second
you
that.
are basically out of danger around the corner, and it's busy with something else. So we'll say the two of you are just moving further and further away. Are you looking for somewhere to hide? Are you looking to go into a building?
Yes. What's around us? Are there more buildings?
There are several buildings. There's probably 100 or so around this whole sphere. You can easily dive into one. Big one, small one. Anything in particular you're looking for?
A big one.
Okay, so there is one that you start dragging him to. That's about 30, we'll say 30 feet or so away from where the behemoth is and away from the building that you were just in, kind of shaped like a U. And you go in these large double doors in the front. They have like a little doggy door at the side where these small crabs you imagine can go in. You don't see any of these small crabs around currently, but you drag it inside, and the minute you do, you can see that it's a dark room. Occasionally there's these flickering like 1970s alien console lights all over the place. And as you walk in, it's almost as if automated lights begin to illuminate as mage lights begin to shine above you. You can see that there are all sorts of consoles on this first floor. You can see there's a large screen, this flickering screen that occasionally kind of shows some sort of energy kicking out from it. There is a set of metal stairs, these tiny little stairs that goes up to a second level. You can't quite see what's up there, but you are now in here. There doesn't seem to be anyone that you can tell that is in this building either.
Am I able to figure out what these controls are used for?
Yeah, when you take a look at them, it looks to be some kind of archival station. So like you could start digging around and kind of maybe get some information. If you start messing around with it, if you actually go up and start physically messing around with it, you'll see the screen suddenly flicker, and this face will suddenly appear. This bright white face on a blue background. It looks almost human, almost like an empty drama mask. It shows up, and you hear, "Hello? Is someone there? Is someone there?" And we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay, back by the crab behemoth, the three of you are still there, tarnished, your arms falling off. Duvesa, your arms are falling off. Kethras, your arms are still connected.
I'm doing great. I'm gonna
I'm
take another
willing to
attack
just
on him.
yield to you trying again. No
Yeah.
It's
offense.
fine. There's no problem with that.
I'm gonna make another attack at it.
Okay. You're up close, melee range.
Ouch.
Got it? Anybody got anything, any other rerolls in their pockets they're throwing him? Okay.
Did I use mine?
I don't think so. I hate to say it.
All right, so this thing is going to detach one of its claws from tarnished steel, and it's going to sweep back like a backhand in your direction and try to slam you into the wall of a building behind you. So you'll take 10 points of we'll call it blood. I don't see why it should be anything else.
Yep.
And you get to skip that.
He takes the stress. It's the first. Is it the first
The
major?
fallout that I
Yeah.
dodged.
Okay. It's a fallout. Okay.
So
Yeah.
this would be a blood fallout.
Okay.
So you'll dodge it for the first one. But you
Yep.
still took the stress. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Duvesa,
Ow.
you want to do anything?
I'll try one more time.
Oh, don't forget, y'all can always spend bits and give me money to get rerolls and stuff. It's fine.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
You're crazy.
Let's
So
go ahead
as-
and do that.
Okay. As you start to cast again, you can feel this strange pull on the very essence, the center funnel of your tornado, that pulsing orange and red mass at the center. And again, within the ball up top, it's pulsing as well. All right, go ahead. It's ridiculous. Go ahead. Pay to win. Okay, so everything
we
I
go.
said
That's-
still
that's
happens.
better.
And you can see that particulate matter begins to fling out from you. Little bits of your essence and soul begin to float upwards into the sphere above. Go ahead and resolve your damage. So go ahead and roll your damage die.
Please kill it. Oh. Why?
Doesn't 500
Nope.
bits increases difficulty? Ashley's getting you killed.
Ashley!
Oh no! Don't do that.
She did. All right, so actually nothing goes through. Is whatever spell, it just kind of hits one of those thick carapaces and doesn't manage to do anything else. You, however, take 6 points of echo, and you hear this mechanized voice overhead begin to speak once more, saying, "Intruders must eliminate. Intruders must eliminate." And when you look across, you can see that second crab behemoth is really close. You've all probably got maybe 2 or 3 actions left before that thing's on this fight. Oh, sorry, Ashley. I think you just killed somebody. Okay. Who else is doing something?
You gotta
Man.
roll.
Do it.
Oh,
do
I'm
I-
sorry.
Fallout.
Fallout check. My bad. Thank you. 12.
Oh, good.
No, I'm below that. Okay.
Okay.
Do I put it all on the line?
So if
I'm
you
going back
You
into attack
definitely
if anyone
should.
else wants to.
You
What's that?
both should definitely attack.
I'm willing to put it all on the line here.
I'll do
if
another.
you take stress, I really worry. It's the end of Tarnished.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Get who's going?
Oh.
Oh boy.
I already did it. I
Okay.
failed.
All right. So once again, with your arm, because you don't even have kill anymore, do you? Because you can't use kill.
Nope.
do you?
I took the die out for it.
So you smash forward as you can with your shield instead, with the one good arm you have, and it easily just smashes it aside, and then like this overhead smash with its mechanical lobster claw. You'll go ahead and take 10 points of blood.
Good grief.
It's-
I'll go. I took an ability to run my plate a second time.
Please, by all means.
So I'm gonna have to combine some resources here
Do
because
it.
I don't have a D8. of
That's
anything,
fine.
But,
That's fine. I'm not gonna split
but I
hairs about
can-
that.
So what happens if you only have a 1d10 and then you still have to roll risky? Do you roll 2 and take the lower, or
You have to roll what's called a difficult action. So it's literally you roll 1d10, and your only way to succeed is with a 10.
oh wow,
Yeah. So there's a separate macro for it. It automatically
I
does
see
it.
that.
There we go. I was able to
Oh,
eliminate it.
That's huge. You
Nice.
have
Good
staved
roll.
off death for.
Oh my god.
And you take no stress, right? Because you take
No stress.
because you have protection outside of that too. So
Yes.
this doesn't have piercing, so
Nice.
you're good. Okay. Who's next?
Now we're
I'm
running.
making
Oh, man.
I'm gonna say
another attack.
2 more actions, and then this crab behemoth will be here.
I'm hoping that Joe can take me into the shadow and help me escape.
Go ahead and take 9 points of blood as this again. It's as if it's on an axle. It's not like a normal crab. Like its arms are just moving, spinning around in ways that you wouldn't expect a normal animal to be able to bend. And it's just smashing you, grabs you by the waist, and just into the wall. So 9 points of blood.
I think that clears my minor at this point, at least.
This should be for. Okay, so this is for Kethras. This is minor
Yep.
blood.
Yep.
So, do you have any minors already? Any
Not in blood.
Okay, what do you have?
I have a minor in mind called vulnerable,
Okay.
where I can't take any mind protection, but I don't have any mind protection, so I've just left it.
Okay. We'll say. Do you have any armor?
No,
okay.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So we'll say.
I have one blood protection.
We'll say that you are. We'll say shattered. You cannot use blood protection. So, so like you can look at a lot of the gear that you've been holding that kind of withstand some of the attacks is completely crumpled under the pressure of this thing.
Duvesa needs to run.
Yes, I am. After my last one, I'm running.
Okay. You are within its reach, so I'm going to ask you to roll.
You should probably just go ahead and run, because Kethras can help me escape.
Okay.
But he can't help you escape.
So I'm going to say go ahead and roll an evade. You're on top of the roof, so I'll give you a knack for it. I'll give you a mastery. You can roll it mastery. It's a little harder to reach you. But go ahead, evade tech with a bit of mastery.
Neither one of those. So
Okay.
2.
Okay.
I am evasive.
All right, and it reaches out to try to smash you, and it misses, but it cuts right through that edge of the rooftop, carving down vertically from where you just were swirling all the way down to the entrance to the room. It's to the building itself. But you managed to swirl off to the backside of the roof and swirl down onto the street below, behind. So you're out of immediate
I am
danger.
in swirly until the end of the situation.
Okay, Tarnished and Kethras. The two of you
I'll
are the
attack
last
one
ones.
more time when we run. Does that sound like a deal?
You can hear at this point the
All
as
right.
the second behemoth is now within listening distance.
I'm going to make one more attack, and then we're going to run
Oh God. Okay.
into the gray.
I think Dan wants to die sometime.
Hey, I'm hamming it up here.
Go for it.
Refusing to back down.
That's true. You're getting that minor beat. Hey, there you go.
Hey,
There we are.
All right,
Success.
roll your damage.
Why is it so low?
And
3.
your attack just bounces harmlessly.
It's
off of
piercing
its carapace.
still.
Oh, it's still piercing? Never mind.
Yeah.
Your attack just cuts through that outer carapace, in fact. Okay.
I take 1 point of fortune.
Okay.
You know, these dice rolls really remind me of goblins.
That's pretty rough.
Dan was rolling low and Jeff was rolling high.
Yes. It's
I have been on a
happening again.
streak for the past couple weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Spectaculars game and like the Zweihander games we've been playing recently, I've been on a streak. It's gonna turn soon. This thing is starting to. You can see it's laboring. One of its claws doesn't seem to be working anymore. A piece of its carapace is starting to rip off. But it's still standing and functional. But it's so close. So close.
Do you want me to do it one more time?
Do it.
At this point, you
Yeah.
can see a piece of a rooftop about 50 feet from you erupts into the air, and the shell of another crab behemoth is beginning to come closer. It'll be able to move and get on you guys after this
All
action.
right. How do you feel, Kethras? One more?
uh,
You need to stay
yeah.
alive.
I'll be alive, so I'm gonna enter the
Oh, sorry.
grave
That's
and drag you with me
there we go.
if you're still up.
Or if he dies, he's going into the gray on his own.
I rolled the last thing again here. Sorry.
So what's going on? Okay, roll your damage.
Now I'm gonna get shitty rolls. Now that I wasted them up there.
4, still piercing.
Yep. Still
You managed to, with your arm falling off the elbow, swing inside and just with the shield, smash it forward, crumpling some kind of battery-like thing underneath, and it just, and everything begins to collapse and contract on you, and so you're struggling to weave your way out as these pieces of metal and gear just rip away at your body on your way out. So I still get to roll this.
I know.
That's 9 points
goodness.
of blood.
Oh.
So I take 5 of that.
Okay. Fallout check 11.
I'm good.
Woohoo!
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to clear it all out on the major.
Oh, that's right. You took a major. Good call. And so you're limping out. And at this point, you can see
Kethras, run!
the next behemoth comes bursting through and is going directly at Kethras. It's just,
Okay. I have to make a check to pull you in with me.
Even if I'm willing.
Yep.
Yep. And then he has to make a check to come out too, I believe, right?
You have to make a check to come out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm screwed either way. So
it's not a.
You have Delve or Religion?
I have Delve.
There you go.
There's
and it's
some
standard
hope.
too, I think.
Yeah, it's standard. So.
Well, that
Okay.
doesn't mean much for my dice.
So Kethras rushes over, puts a hand on you, tries to get you two into the gray. Roll your check to go in.
Okay. What?
Oh no, you get to go in for free though, don't you?
I don't think I do if I'm attempting.
To pull somebody else
I'll,
in. So
I think I fail.
you put your hand and you try to All right, you got it. Ashley gave you a reroll. She felt bad for spending 500 before, so you can reroll it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay.
There we go.
So
there we are.
it's like you're trying to start a lighter. It's like wait, it just doesn't quite go the first time, and you blow on it, and you do it again. And all of a sudden, the little seam of gray, opens up, and you pull the two of you inside. And just as the giant lobster arm comes down right where you were, smashing into bits the stone floor on which your feet just momentarily stood. Tarnished, I think this is your first time in the gray.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is probably weird.
Yeah, you look around and you can see much of what you just saw. You can see the buildings. You can even see some of the stuff like the lights, the water, all that kind of flickering. But all of it is monochromatic at this point. All of it's kind of this grayish color. It's desolate. You don't see. It's like the crabs aren't even there anymore. Everything's just sort of empty. It's just whatever the physical place, the environment is. So we'll say Duvesa, you could probably hop off that building just in time to see the doors close where Zerk and Morthos slipped into, and when you kind of chase them down, you can see Morthos on the ground, nearly dying. Zerk is checking his email on a some sort of mage light monitor. What do the three of you want to do?
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Go for it.
Give me just a moment.
Moan in pain, drift in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
So are we still in the situation?
No, I'm gonna say you're out of the situation at this point, especially the three of you, because three of you ran away.
Okay, good. Because then I
Yeah.
can come out of true form, and everything I try to do other than kill isn't risky. So
Okay. Fair
I can
enough.
try to mend.
Okay.
Mend him, and I'm going to talk to this computer.
Okay.
So it's a mend plus what?
Well, it was just blood. What kind of damage is it? I mean, what kind of injuries do you got?
I've got the dark cravings, which I'm not too worried about, but I've got downed, which is blood,
Yeah.
nature blood.
It means you can't move and stuff like that.
Yeah, can't move, cling into consciousness.
Tech still makes the most sense. You can see little bits of machinery and little rips and pieces of metal sticking out of his skin in places where he smashed against it.
Okay. Well, I can't gain extra dice from
I'll
skills
give
anyway
you-
because
yeah.
of my thing. So I just get one dice to roll.
Domains, though. Domains are still okay.
But I don't have access to mend because of my other injury. So.
Men's is skill. Do you have tech, or do you?
Oh, I see what you're
or
saying.
Haven. I mean, I'll say Haven is usually pretty standard for heal. So, Haven or tech.
I don't have either one of those.
Okay, so never mind. Doesn't matter. Okay, kill him with your heal, please. Or your. Okay.
Okay.
So
Take stress.
you reach down, try to heal him, find yourself suddenly incapable. It just doesn't seem to work. Take 1 point of fortune stress, as your confidence is forever shot. 4 on the fallout check.
How bad are things? What happened?
She failed her heal. Killed the both of them.
What?
I only have 3 stress.
You're okay. So it's 4 is over your stress. So Zerk, as you're messing around with it, you can see the face start showing up, and it's got a very human voice to it, but there's still those kind of weird max headroom moments where it just sort of shifts a bit. But it's calling out like, is anyone there? Hello?
Hello,
Who's there?
Zerk Worthington.
I'm not.
Who are you?
I don't remember. I don't remember at all. What is wrong? Why can't I feel? What happened to me? You see him.
What were you?
I was a scholar.
No, he turned
Yes.
into a computer.
What pulse is it? As he's asking, like, for what year?
What do we know? What year it is?
Yeah, you would convey it, and it would be, that can't be right. That I've been like this for. Oh my. Oh, I remember. Oh no. I am the administrator. Yeah, well, I am its conscience. Yes. Well, why are you here? You're in grave danger. This is not a safe place for you.
No kidding.
Why not?
My physical self has detached itself from me. I can't control it anymore. It's doing what it wants. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. I can't, as you can clearly hear, access it anymore.
Listen, there's some like metal crabs out there. Do you know how to stop them?
Destroy the administrator. Detach the administrator. Overheat the administrator. And all his minions will stop.
Detach the administrator and his minions will stop.
He needs coolant. He needs so much coolant. And you stop the coolant and he will overheat. Yes. And he will come crashing down.
Is the
Where do we-
coolant the stuff that we saw going up to the
Yeah.
center? Or so?
Yeah. So he's probably referring to the streams of water coming up and hitting that central sphere.
And are they
I
just
wanted
like
to try to-
streams and like pipes that we see? That are like
You never
we
really
never
got
got
close
close
enough to look, but you didn't see any like really obvious machinery connecting it. It almost just looked like free-flowing streams on these 45-degree angles.
Yeah, I was hoping we could get there to look at it, but then crab battle happened,
Yep.
and Snake lost.
You guys did kill it.
We did kill it, but I
One
wouldn't
of
say
them.
we won.
So, while you're at the controls, you hear as if something's looking around on the outside, and then suddenly, and it's fading away as it's going. As it seems like it's looking for you all, but it can't fit into these buildings, so it can't see you, and it's continuing to patrol around.
Have Joe and I caught up with them?
Go ahead and roll as you try to make your way back out of the gray.
Yep. Delve in religion.
Delve in religion. They're tarnished. Okay.
Yay!
Does it say what type of stress, or is it just whatever?
It doesn't say. I imagine it would probably be echo or mind though.
It's. I was thinking of the die value. It's probably just the default die value for for this
Oh.
this landmark is D6. So 4
It doesn't
points.
say.
We'll make it echo, as trying to pull yourself out of this this afterworld is quite taxing.
I am not in trouble yet.
Okay,
I took 2 points from that because I have Echo Protection.
very nice. So I
and
rolled a
that
10.
puts me at 8. It puts me at 8.
That,
total.
that definitely just saved you.
I
so
live to see another day.
you wait a few moments and move yourselves around the buildings until you find a place where you assume it isn't going to be, and you pull yourselves back out. I would say you probably can see a blood trail leading away from where Morthos was likely dragged, leading into this U-shaped building. And if you go inside, you can track down the others.
Oh, looks like Morthos blood.
Yes, very familiar with that.
I'm rather macabre Hansel and Gretel over here.
Yeah.
So you're all together in this room. When you walk in, Kethras, the lights begin to flicker, and this lens detaches from the wall and begins to extend outward from the wall, like on this long mechanical spring arm, and it moves right up to Kethras and just starts like scanning over top of him. Didn't happen for anybody else, but it says, when you hear the voice of the administrator's conscience suddenly say, curious, curious, curious.
Is it coming like from the lens or from somewhere else?
There's
in the
like a
building?
speaker. There's like you're just hearing the voice manifest.
Okay.
The screen that Zerk is looking at.
Intercom almost.
Yeah, the screen that Zerk is looking at, like there's like imagine like a really plain looking comedy drama mask, and like its mouth is trying to move with this little pixelation going on, but it's not perfect. It's like a little bit of a lag time to it. So what do you guys want to do?
So how can we get from
Find
here
healing.
up there?
Well, like poke at the lens as it's.
It kind of backs away. And it kind of goes over top of you and kind of looks down, and it's like kind of focal point, and opens up, and then it retreats back into its position in the wall.
I will
Can I
gesture
help
at
you
it
with something?
my broken ass arm and say, I need healing.
It needs coolant.
It says something like archive damaged archive, and then you can see the screen suddenly changes from the face to an image of like the symbol for your masters. Kethras suddenly manifests on the screen. Identify self, identify. And then from the panels on the walls, same places, kind of like you saw those little screens, all of a sudden they fold out, and these little gun turrets come out and begin to point in all sorts of directions.
Oh no.
Oh,
I can't
crap.
afford to get shot.
Yeah, don't get us killed.
Identify.
Kethras.
Heal Tarnished Steel here, real quick.
They're like pointing
Or
at
kill him.
everyone
No.
in the room.
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
there's a couple that are specifically pointed at you.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide under my door.
And at this point, the woman who, by the way, the travel reporter that's been following Duvesa around comes running in. It's like, you left me out there! And she's freaking out, having
Oh, yeah.
now
I wanted to
found
warn
you guys.
her
Yeah.
before I switched into true form what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, you guys, did you have to do this? As I walk over to the console.
I
heal.
groan in pain in reply.
I
I
tried to heal
also
Tarnished
cry
Steel
in broken arm.
and failed
And
critically.
so it's just saying identify with the console, and imagine there's like a keyboard in front of it.
Or is it wanting
There's
like
a
voice?
keyboard, but like voice, well, for ease, we'll say voice.
Okay. I'll be like,
3 fortune.
Kethras.
Kethras does not. No entry for Kethras. And then it shows that image again. Clarify. And every now and then it sounds like almost like a human voice, and then every now and then it pulls back to like a machine voice.
I hope this one's not me too, because I'm way too. Yeah.
Well, I can't seem to heal anybody, so we
Rip.
are as we are.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Not dead yet. Yet.
Up we go somehow.
Up the stairs?
Sans Kethras.
But there's still guns pointed at
The guns are
everyone,
still kind of pointing at you. It's asking you to clarify. It's showing a picture of like the symbology. It's like, are you master? Are you?
Yes.
When you don't know, you always agree.
If
You
anyone
are
asks if you're a
master.
god,
Correct.
the answer is yes.
Thank you for
Yes. Thank
noticing.
you, Melissa.
And then does not compute. Does not compute. And then you can see that there's like something happening on the screen as if it's not, things aren't working and functioning well. All of a sudden the face comes back and the voice is, I am sorry. I forget myself sometimes. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. You can't be here. And this is all directed at Kethras.
I'm
Yes.
here because there's a haven above us that's getting attacked by crabs and water.
Yes.
They're
yes.
coming from here.
I used to live there, but why you? You can't be here. No, this place safe from you, master. It's safe.
If I move, I'm gonna try moving close to the stairs in, and the guns follow me.
Not really. They seem to all kind of starting to be focusing on Kethras at this point.
I will continue to the stairs.
Oh, good.
Okay. When you go up, it actually looks to be like some kind of apartment. You see like a bed. You see like a desk. But all of it, when you come up here, the lights kind of flicker on a bit. It's all very sterile, as if no one's slept or been in this in some time.
I'm gonna go through the desk.
You start going through the desk, and you can find there's all these little physical journals and such. And when you start reading through and flipping through them, it definitely seems to be a madman's kind of confessorial, like tracking the days. And as you start reading it over the course of a few minutes, it certainly seems to describe how there was some kind of outcast or exile that happened to whoever is writing this, and there's constant scribblings about the desire to exact revenge on the scholars of Athene for their brutal treatment, calling him heretic, things like that.
He lost one too many debates, and
Yeah.
they voted
Okay.
him off the island.
So you start going through it, and it's detailing like this plane. You start seeing sketches, like these like almost engineering like sketch diagrams and stuff, and it details like the room itself or the landmark you're in. But it's very old. You start looking at like some of the markings, the dates. This thing's like a person doesn't live this long. This is incredibly old.
How do we get up there?
If you spend time studying and looking around, like you can certainly find that there are these. You're probably not 100% sure exactly how they work, but there are certain devices that are at the base of these streams that sabotage obviously would probably work wonders on them.
Let's start pushing buttons.
No, this is just you're just kind of going through. You're just going through like a physical, old-fashioned like
Notebook.
paper beginning to fall away in your fingertips. You would have to actually go to the sites of these streams to break them down.
Okay, I'm gonna stop flipping through this, try and preserve it.
Okay.
Do I find anything else of use in the desk or in the room? I'll kick over the mattress on the bed,
Yeah. So
ransack it.
Miracle arm grow.
you
perhaps?
find you actually find a bottle of water, like in this very ornate glass that has all sorts of these like etchings. You open it up, and when you do, instead of it going like it's carbonated, it's like an electrical zzz, and you close it back up as if there's like electrical charges coming up out of it. You also find another similar console, but this one is more like a handheld tablet. So one of them, the bottle is a D6 Tech Occult Harmful, and the handheld console is just D6 Tech and Occult.
Interesting. What happens if I take the bottle of water and try to pour some of that electricity into that glass next to it?
You can see that just these almost like lightning starts to erupt inside of the liquid. It's very clear, but it does look very similar to what you've been looking up at in the middle of the sky here, like above you. That spherical ball of water has that same kind of qualities to it, but this looks to be purified in some way.
What's on the data pad?
You start going through it, just kind of flipping through it one by one. It seems to have schematics for the different mechano crabs that you've looked at.
Oh,
It also seems to have more refined engineering schematics of whatever's going on with these little suction cups that are on the sides of these spheres. They seem to be ripping open portions of the heart and funneling in water from different places. So you would imagine one maybe from the slumbering depths, for instance, and other places that might have. And so it seems to be like they're literally draining surrounding landmarks and dells of its water.
we could ride the tubes of water to the heart. It's like a giant water slide. Let's do it. All right, I'm excited. I'm going back downstairs with all my
That does sound
information
exciting.
and relaying it to the others.
Woo! And I'm just like,
Woohoo!
"Ah."
So
As I
Meanwhile-
hear, like,
arm
coming
dangling.
down, I'm gonna be. Do like any of these guns seem to be in the other rooms?
they all just seem to be focusing on you at this point, and
Right.
you can't really see. Like it's like a second floor, so I say you probably couldn't see it. But as
Right.
you're down here talking to it, it says, "You are not master. Incorrect. Not." And then I'm sorry. I'm who? I seem to believe one thing, but my eyes say another. Are you of the library?
As he starts trying to say that, be like, "Hey, it seems to only care about me, guys. You should all get out of here, like right now."
Let's go.
Like, it's yep.
Peace out.
And I'm like, as loudly as I can, trying to yell over.
And if you pull Morthos, who's still downed, unfortunately, you have to kind of pick him up and kind of.
I'll pull him. Or he can lean on my shoulder.
Just drag him
Thanks,
by one arm,
buddy.
pull the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'd offer to help.
I'm not worried about this.
But you have one
guys
arm
should
that's
get
just kind
out.
of dangling there.
And then as you're leaving, you hear the mage light. Wait, you are injured. Organic. And then you can see on the screen a small like map begins to show up in place of where the drama tragedy mask is, and it does one of those "you are here" bing bing, and then it draws like an active line like medical to a different place. So you mark it down, take a little idea of
Sorry.
it.
It's probably more like this.
Yeah.
It's a trap. Let's go. Let's go to the tubes.
And then as they leave, and it's just you and the you Kethras and the guy, he says, "Are you of the library?
Yeah, but let's not talk about that.
Are you? Are you?" It's just you and him at this point. It says, and then you can see this little on the console itself. This little, almost like a coffee holder, opens up, and a little ball of light begins to form inside of the coffee holder. Downloading, and then complete. and then it pops up out of the coffee holder and just sort of hovers there. Library, retrieve, deliver, please. Library, retrieve, deliver,
Grab it
please.
from him.
Okay. And so no longer do you hear like that sort of humanoid voice. It's just all like machinery voice at that point. Okay. You step
And
out.
are the guns still out?
They seem to at that point start to pull back.
That's good.
Okay.
I would trust the map.
So
I would go
what
towards
is
medical.
this that I've picked up?
This is a D10 tech occult. Yeah.
Flash drive.
This is it's the administrator's conscience, but yeah, you can go ahead and put flash drive.
Awesome.
That might be useful to not consume.
Okay. You step outside. You can see the crab behemoth is a ways away at this point. You peek around. You can see that the other one's still on the ground, broken. What do you guys want to do?
Can I attempt to loot that guy real quick before we go to the med bay?
Yeah, if you head over really quick, you can see there's a fairly intact metal carapace that you can pull off of it if you want. That is a D10 occult tech. It counts as a mend blood D6 block item when worn.
I don't even know what all that means. That's like so many things.
I will go ahead and copy this into the Roll20. So that. There you go. That's everything. So what do you guys want to do now? There's more crabs to
moan
fight.
In pain.
I bet you
Healing.
want to go to the medical bay.
Healing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Healing.
Since I have been
Does it
useless,
seem like there's a way
we
to
need
make
outside
it through
assistance.
buildings and stuff to get there?
Sure.
Or
Bob and weave.
Somebody want to take lead and roll a stealth check? Or, excuse me, not
Sneak?
stealth. Sneak test, sorry.
Not me.
I can't sneak at what?
Sneak Haven or Sneak Tech? One of the two.
Okay.
do you have Delve or Religion, Chuck?
I have
have
Delve
Delve.
and technology.
I have Delve. No, I don't have religion.
Okay.
I have occult, but not religion.
Woo.
I'm wondering.
Hey.
Bob and weave,
you
folks. Bob and weave.
being-
Follow me.
With
There we
with very
The
little
hero
effort.
we needed, Matt.
With very little effort, you manage to sneak everyone through. You periodically see little groups of small mechano crabs moving around, but you manage to avoid them. The behemoths never really seem to come back in your direction. It seems to be a little bit further off, almost as if it's like resetting at this point. You head into what the map suggested was a clinic, and you go inside, and again, those automatic lights come on. And you can see on the ground are about 20 to 30 bodies of those same types of half-elves that you saw earlier in the campaign, meaning like they were not fully developed, fully formed, the ones that were coming out of the kelp.
Oh.
And so you can see they're all kind of on the ground here, but they've likely been here for a while, and they actually seem dried out. Like a fish that's been beached for weeks.
Can I take
I would
one?
like to eat part of one.
Sure. Yeah. You can go ahead and take tech. Or
Can
wild.
I take a body?
Sure. Go ahead and take a D6 resource. I'll give you the specifics later, but
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I am desperate for resources right now. So
everyone can take a body of a half elf if you want. That's fine. Half formed elf.
I'm not
I
going
got
to.
what I needed.
Yeah.
I'm going
I-
to claim unconsciousness.
And so
I will. I've spent D20 of resources already today.
So much like the one room that you guys were in that had the recycler, you see like this little set of stairs go up to some kind of bay with a bunch of beds, completely pristine as if they've never been used before. And next to each one of the beds, you can see that there is this inert machine that's just sitting there like an automaton. And on the back of the automaton, the automaton, you can see that there is like a chute. They're big and they're bulky. There's a chute on the back with all sorts of wires and cables connecting to it from the ceiling.
I'm gonna push Tarnished into it.
And so,
It's the healing
I
shoot.
won't-
now.
yeah.
I won't resist. No.
So you would get the sense that you put something in it and it might stitch up whoever's laying in the bed.
Oh, let's
capable
throw a
of-
fish man in it.
Okay.
Is it capable of
Or
fixing
a half elf, sorry.
a major fallout here?
You can always expend in order to get your major fallout. I always forget the die values, but D6 to remove minor, D8 to remove major, or to downgrade critical to major.
How much half elf do we need to put in this?
Yeah. How many half elves does that equal?
I would say they're D6s, so probably 2.
All right, lay down, Tarnished. We're gonna
These
start
half elves
shoving.
look to have been dead for a while.
They do. They're dried out. They look like fish that have
They
been
taste
beached for.
delicious.
You may have to
It's like
roll for how
salmon.
many of them there are,
Yeah, it's
or
cured
we're gonna
salmon.
beat a whole lot of them in that chute.
Yeah. Not all of them are viable. Some of them are like you pick them up and they just sort of break apart, but a few still seem to be intact.
All right. Let's heal
I definitely
Tarnished.
want to spend one to get rid
and
of
Morthos.
a minor after they're done.
Okay, so I'll say for the group in total, you can get 1 each. So all of you have like 1 d6, and so you can share however you want to share, and then whatever other resources you want.
For blood, I got 2 blood. I could use a.
I have a
fallout
major.
I need to remember. or
I have a
remove.
major and a minor.
I got
So,
a minor.
What do we need to fix Morthos? I guess that's probably the first question, really.
Yeah.
So are you looking to get rid of your critical injury? Right? He needs
Yeah.
D8 worth of resources.
2 fishmen, or half elves.
Okay, so you smush 2 of them in, probably Morthos and somebody else's. You smush them in. It's like a blender. And then all of a sudden, after a good 10 to 20 seconds, this thing starts moving, and you see its arms begin to start sprouting from its torso. Different little medical equipment coming out, syringes, suturing, snips, and it's just... It's not as good as like a bantha tank, but like it's pretty close. It's kind of that kind of deal. And it takes about 10, 15 minutes, and Morthos, you feel better already. Like you still got some soreness going on, but
Yeah.
you feel almost immediately better.
Nice.
And you can go ahead and get rid of that critical injury.
Very cool.
So you've got
How many more times are we?
3 more.
Tarnished.
You got 3 more left total as a group.
We need Tarnished's arm back.
Yeah.
All right.
I
so,
like that arm.
So you go ahead
Well-
and you.
I'll throw mine in.
Okay.
What if we threw your arm in there?
Ooh.
It's a major, right, Dan?
It's a major.
Yeah. You definitely need 2, because it's D8
Well,
to
it's
get it.
2, but would that waste
Combining.
both of them?
I'll say we'll take the 2d6s. So 2d.
Or would we have a D4 left over?
We'll say 3 of them. We'll say 3 things will heal Morthos and Tarnished.
Okay.
3
I'll use
total.
mine for sure.
Okay.
I'm willing to pay my own way.
And so you have 2 more left then, to do with as you please.
Who's got what that they want to get rid of? I've got a
Okay.
minor, but
A
I
major.
have a
and a
minor I
minor.
want to get rid of.
we'll get rid of the
But
major.
I do
Major,
have,
right.
Get rid of
I have
Melissa's major.
other resources I'm willing to spend on this. I don't really have any.
So this thing, by the way, will only take tech, and occult, and wild.
Is a dragon corpse wild?
Yeah, I'll take it.
have
If
a-
you want to give it.
I have a D4 wild vegetables that I can add to a body.
Okay.
What was the crystal wild?
Crystal, I don't recall. I'd have to look it up for you.
Ooh.
'Cause I just have that it's beacon, but I don't have anything else for it.
It might not have another specific thing. It's a resonating crystal, like, right?
Yeah,
Wild beacon. Yeah,
wild. Okay.
wild beacon. Okay. Use your D4 and your D6, Duvesa, and you can heal your major.
Ready? So I can now mend again. I have mend skill back.
Yay.
I still can't get extra dice from skills though, because I still have
Okay.
my minor.
So at
You
this
have a
point, I
minor.
think there's one viable one of these corpses left.
Dan, you're healed, right?
I'm good. I don't get to remove any stress from that, right? I just remove the fallout.
No. You can contribute another resource if you want to remove stress, but this is specifically a blood haunt. So
Yes, and I have 5 blood, so I may throw one more thing in here.
okay, as long as it's wild, tech, or occult, you're good.
Yep, I've got a little more junk to throw at it, so
Okay.
I'm gonna keep that D10 for next time.
Joe, were you doing something?
I was just saying, I have a crystal and a dragon corpse if we're needing more.
I think all the majors have been cleared at this point.
I think you and I have miners left, Joe.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a minor.
I've got a minor too.
Melissa's got a miner.
Okay.
That wasn't even worth using.
All right. I mean, miners aren't birds of death, but they could turn into bad
They
things
get
pretty
upgraded
fast.
is the problem. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That D6
I can't use
gave me
skill
a 1.
dice because of mine.
Dan was so close.
That was
to
pretty
Dan.
bad.
All right.
Yeah, you get rid of that.
Mine's not that bad. It's just I don't get my 1 point of blood protection.
To get rid of a miner, it's only a D6, by the way. Major
Yeah.
is the D8.
I don't have any, so if I did it, I'd be using the last of the elf bodies.
It's probably worth it.
Yeah. Go ahead and do it.
Well,
Okay.
so we had 2 majors. So we had 5 elf bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And
3
only-
majors.
There's 3 majors.
3 majors.
There should be 1
3
left.
majors and 3 minors then.
Mhm.
What? 2 elf bodies got used on me. 2 elf bodies got used on Dan. That
Well,
leaves
I'd
1
be-
elf body, right?
Well, it seems like it'd make more sense because I have a D8 that I can just do to one of the majors, right?
Okay.
We're
mean,
past
that
that
would-
point, aren't we?
And I
Uh,
contributed a d4.
yeah. So I think it was a D6, D4, and then 2 D6s, and then 2 D6s. So 1, 2.
I mean, at this point, we might as well just put them in a pool and just subtract from it.
Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
How about this? Why don't go ahead and do your minor for Devesa, and then that's probably gonna. This is all taking like a good 2 hours at this point if everyone's taking their turns getting stitched up on this bed with this automaton. So every now and then you hear and little
And I
smaller.
whisper at the
tackle
machine.
noise.
I'll just throw in my crystal into the pool then to get rid of our miners
Okay.
that we have left over.
Okie doke.
All right.
Back out into the fray once again.
So what's the plan?
Clear-ish?
We gotta destroy that sphere, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the game.
Or at least destroy the stream that's going to the sphere.
Right, and that's in my unconscious stint. The only thing I remember is break the cooling, which is destroying one of them streams.
Yeah, can we see where the stream's like coming? Because it seems to be like, is it moving through like the free space in the air to go to the center?
It's
that's
literally just
floating
like a
above us?
constant straight line of a stream coming from the ground, right? The outer
Okay.
of the sphere, inwards towards that central nucleus where the sphere is.
So let's
floating.
try and find one of the places that it's coming from the ground, and then
Super easy to
see
find.
what's,
Sabotage
see
it.
what's happening.
Let's try
Yeah.
putting that bottle I got with that
That's-
lightning in it into the stream and shoot it up into the.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I was thinking about, but I
yeah,
wasn't there to
let's
say
let's
you should do
fire it
that,
up into
so-
it.
Okay, it's easy enough to find, so you don't have to go looking or delving. But you probably want to sneak here, so somebody can take the lead on that.
Sneak and what?
This should be Tech or Haven.
I can do sneaking. I'm good at that.
We can say one person can take lead, and then another person can assist, like they're scouting ahead, being like, shh, 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 like
Cool.
that type of thing.
I got Sneak and Haven. If you
I'll
wanna
assist you then. I've got sneak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the
Nicely
two of
done.
you, this place is busy. You only see like those little tiny crabs moving about in these small groups of 3 and 4. You can see that they're kind of building stuff and repairing things here and there. You don't see any of the big behemoths moving around. When you look up, you can see that those big arms are still kind of sweeping, kind of looking around as if it's trying to find you, but you don't see any optical equipment on it. It's just those tongues. You're able to move either on the street or sneaking into certain buildings, over top of other buildings, things like that, for about 15 to 20 minutes until you get within, we'll say it's 50 feet or so, of one of these pieces of equipment that are attached to the exterior of the sphere, and you can see that it's mostly metal, couple gears, and you can see like there's like kind of a pump system, like, and it's shooting water, like almost like a water fountain, upwards at a very fast velocity. But you also see that there is a behemoth that's just settled and sitting right next to it. When you look at the actual piece of equipment, you can see that most of the ground that you guys have been walking on has been really refined, polished stone. Like this is a highly technologically advanced place. You don't see anyone living here. It's just crabs and stuff wandering around. But over here, you can see bits of the heart breaking through where that stone is, and it's as if whatever this piece of equipment is sitting on top of. It's kind of pulling directly from the heart itself.
Can we touch the pieces of the heart?
If you got close to it. Right now I'm saying you guys are like 50 feet away. This is what you see, and now you can kind of decide what you want to do, because there is a crab behemoth right next to it.
Do we need somebody to go be a distraction, like a ding-dong?
That's rough. I mean, like, if we're just trying to sneak over to this thing and throw the lightning bottle in it, could we get a good angle to sneak up to it, or is like this crab thing staring right at it?
I would make it a risky check if you want to do it.
I have something for that.
Risky business.
Risky
I got
business.
something we can use too.
I have Mark of the Shadow. I have the sneak skill.
Okay.
Hiding from someone or something is always standard action, never risky or dangerous.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have? Are there like light sources? Do these things seem like they have eyes on them that they're using?
They definitely seem to have visual acuity when they were fighting before. Yeah. They have little carapace in the top and like these little eyes, but then they have them all the way around the back.
I see everything.
But this thing is like settled down as if it's curled up and sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Just a little baby crab.
Except that is baby crab.
Morthos is going to try to sneak up, and then you're going to try to throw the electrified water bottle into the stream and see what that does. Okay.
All right. Standard, I've got sneak.
And it'll be tech or haven.
All right. I don't have either of those, so it'll just be 2 for my dice pool.
Okay. Here we go.
Come on.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right.
Yes, it's a success.
So you move up very quietly. You're hiding behind like these small little formations where like the cobblestone has been ripped up here, and like you occasionally step down on squishy bits of heart. You can feel it wrap around your foot for a moment, and then you reach in, you grab the bottle. Doesn't look like the crab has noticed you at all. You take a look at it really quick, and you go to throw it, and as you do, it kind of splashes into that stream, and you can see a little bit of flickering of water just drops down onto your face and sizzles as there's like a burning sensation.
Ow.
And your face just begins to twitch. So you can go ahead and take
Spicy water.
1 point of blood. No big deal.
Ooh, I've got protection from that
All right,
too.
I don't have to roll a fallout check. And then you see
Yeah.
whoosh, the thing just immediately starts heading up there. You sneak back, and the crab behemoth seems none the wiser. As you wait to see the effect, you look up, and again, there's been this like pulsing orange red, and all of a sudden it gets really, really big, and like particulate raindrops begin to kind of fall down in all sorts of different directions. You can hear like this strange buzzing coming from wherever the speakers are, as if it's whatever this administrative machine is, it's kind of twitching, and it doesn't seem to be doing particularly well. The behemoth suddenly gets up, kind of looking around, and it's just kind of working in this basic pattern in the area. Certainly seems to have done something, but the stream is still functioning.
Damn it.
It seems as if it's kind of created confusion, and so this behemoth just, and you see it kind of moving out and then back and then patterning out and then coming back in and patterning out even further and coming back in. You can kind of time it at a certain point that you might be able to sneak in just in time to blow that thing up and get out before the behemoth comes back.
That seems like what we need to do.
So is this like a big clearing that it's kind of roaming around in from the buildings?
There's like a think of it like it's about a 50 to 100-foot gap between one neighborhood and then the next neighborhood on the other side. And then you have this long run of torn up cobblestone with heart seeping out of it, and then that piece of machinery where the water fountain is spewing. And so this thing is like moving out into the direction of the next neighborhood, going around doing a circle, coming back, then takes another big circle and comes back. It keeps like making a bigger move as if it's looking for something and confused. It's just sort of mindlessly looking for whatever triggered that kind of attack on that thing up top.
I definitely think we should hang tight for a second, wait for it to move, and then puzzle in. And...
Yeah.
All right, how are you looking? I mean, you guys it's easy enough to time it to get in there. The question is what are you using to try to? So it's a fairly big. It's like a side of a car, essentially. This big piece of machinery. What do you want to do to try to blow it up?
I can light things on fire, but I don't know if that's any good. I still have the tunneling gear that we talked those subway workers out of. So like we could go up and...
I've got my mechanical bowl, or I've got my big old stabby sword.
Well, we left the bowl up.
I think the bowl got left, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the bowl with us.
Did I
could stand
earlier-
in front of it and try and bait it to punch it, and then enter the grave before it hits me.
It's funny.
I thought I heard you say something earlier that there was some sort of mechanical,
Like a console or something, too.
yeah, somewhere that was down here towards where the stream was.
The consoles, there were two. One was in the U-shaped building, and then the other was the handheld tablet that Zerg picked up.
Aha! I'll hold it up.
Yeah, which seems to be
This one?
Yeah, which seems to be an engineering schematic. So, whatever you want to try to do to muck up the machinery, you can roll with mastery if you study the schematics.
Let's do that.
I will hand out the schematics to whoever wants to look at them.
So who wants to? Who is doing something?
I can stabby stab if we want.
Okay,
I-
I'll do that.
We could burn supply stress, and all of a sudden we have a bomb.
Yeah, that's fine.
A
Whatever, explosives.
Oh.
Something explosive. We could always do that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'll burn some supply stress for a couple Molotovs.
Okay.
Then
So
I'll be ready to run interference and try and get it to chase me if people are starting to get noticed.
okay. So go ahead. Whoever's doing the supply stress takes D6.
Yeah, we should do this as a team.
Yep.
Okay. we're all doing it.
Why not?
Just one person needs to get the supply stress.
Jeff's like, come on, all right, I don't go crazy. Here.
Oh, I took supply stress. I took 1, and I have 2 for protection.
Okay, so you're good. I don't even have to roll that. So you do
Yeah.
manage to find an explosive device. Yeah, you have like this grenade ready to go.
I like it.
Yeah, this is kind of strange. It almost looks like a Rubik's Cube. You just turn it, and then it'll start ticking back. And once it gets back to where it was, it explodes.
Oh, there
right.
we go.
So you wait a moment for the crab to get as far away as you think it will go, and you run in really fast. And go ahead and roll. This is a tech. I'll make it discern or kill if you just want to call it kill, but it also could just be discern. And you can roll with mastery because you looked at the engineering schematics.
All right. I'll do discern. And so that's going to be 3 dice since we got mastery. Oh.
Anybody
Do I
left in
blow
chat?
myself up?
Anybody left in chat for some bits?
I don't have bits, or I'd save myself.
I do have bits, but I don't want to save you.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. If I die here, I will not be mad.
Okay, so we'll say what's going to happen. You go ahead and you try to chuck it in there, and as you're turning around to run away, really proud of yourself because cool guys don't look at explosions. This thing explodes behind you. So go ahead. It's gonna do you. We'll treat this like a D10.
You didn't twist it far enough.
Well, I only rolled 3. You'll take 3 points of blood stress as all sorts of metallic machinery just starts completely exploding behind you and hitting your back, tearing through it. When you get back over and the dust settles, you can see that Morthos's back is all ripped up, but the stream hasn't been broken, and the actual the actual device still seems to be intact. It's suffered damage, but the pumps are still working just fine.
I did a bad job.
And you can see that the behemoth is immediately starting to come back in the direction of the explosion.
Can I try to do my like exsanguinate spell to try to like do something with the stream?
To grind it up?
Like
okay.
interrupt the stream somehow, like pull some of the liquid out of the stream.
You're more, I would say, for a more long-term effect, you're probably looking to try to pull the lubricant out of the machine so that it grinds up. That would probably make more sense. But since the behemoth is starting to come back, I'm going to require an evade test on or a stealth test to get close, whatever one you prefer.
Can I get it to try and chase me instead?
Sure. So if you're trying to kind of get it to pay attention to you, you can try to do. There. Yeah, you can just kind of run out. I don't even make you roll for this. You could just run out into the middle into the space and just be like, "Hey, right here."
Just pick up a rock and chuck it at the side.
Don't throw a rock; you might kill it.
And so you see the behemoth just looks at you and immediately, and then you hear this broken. Running. You hear this broken administrator voice, as if it's having trouble communicating, and this behemoth just suddenly starts going in the direction of Kethras, who's running. You're running away from everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Devesa, go
he's
up.
Leading right to us, and then he's
I'm running right back to my friend.
Go ahead, Devesa. Make your roll.
Look at that.
Okay. 9. And you guys watch as Devesa just kind of reaches a hand out, and all of this kind of dark, grimy liquid just begins pouring out, starts becoming its own little sphere, this large, swirling sphere, and it just drops to the ground, splashes. You can hear the grinding of gears, and all of a sudden smoke beginning to emerge, and the pumps itself until it begins to break, and the stream gets like a little thinner and thinner and thinner until it's no longer reaching all the way up to the sphere, and it's just sort of pouring out over a random part of the city, and then it begins to continue to sweep back until there's nothing now coming out of the water itself. As you wait, a couple things happen. The administrator starts freaking out. You start seeing all sorts of different colored maze lights that are up built into the walls, into the buildings, begin to flicker and start going orange and then red, orange and red. It's like red alert on the Starship Enterprise. And then you can see that the arms are kind of reaching down and like kind of starting to swat the area around where this broken piece of machinery is. Then what happens is you start to feel the earth begin to shake around you. Little pieces of cobblestone start shooting up, and another shooting up. And all of a sudden the actual piece of machinery just rips off of it as a burst of water comes pouring out. And you can see it starts to weave in between the city as it starts to pour down into the center bottom part of the sphere. It doesn't seem to be going in the direction of you guys. It's just sort of pulling away from you. You can hear the voice of the administrator begin to get worse and worse, and the sphere itself, that nucleus up top, begins to fall apart, begins to stop being a perfect sphere. It becomes ovular in some way. Then it begins to drip and fall. And as that water starts to recede, you can see bits of machinery suddenly begin to emerge, whatever was inside of that, which is sort of orbiting there. Some of the other streams look like they're trying to pick up the slack and shoot more water. You can see them thicken for a moment, but then you can see similar things beginning to happen as pieces of cobblestone start popping up, and like a mile away you can see it just kind of flying up, and then another one of those machines that you just blew up flies off the wall, and then that stream starts to fall down. And over the course of about 10 minutes, all of these things start to fall apart, and eventually there's nothing up there but this floating piece of rectangular metal. All sorts of lights are on it, and these arms are connecting to it, and it suddenly just crashes down into the middle of of that city, and you can see little mini like mushroom cloud explode. When you look at the behemoth that's been chasing you, Kethras, it suddenly falls forward and slides across the concrete, smashing into a building. You can see a swarm of these small mechanocrabs that were about to cut you off are just inert, and you almost trip over them as you're running. Everything around looks to have come to a stop.
I'm gonna run over and kick the behemoth.
Okay. All right. It's a D10 at brutal as you break your foot.
We did it.
What do you want to
We
do?
need to find whatever's in that cube and loot it.
We need to go see the heart.
And whatever
Pieces of the
else
heart
is in
here.
all these crabs. I need tech.
I want to eat the heart.
I need tech to rain on me.
Okay. So if you want to go, so Dan, if you start heading down to where the thing crashed, you can see that there's a lot. It's like half underwater at this point, where the rush of water began. There's almost like, remember, this is like a big sphere, so like the bottom bits of it are in water, but you can trudge through it enough. It's incredibly cold, the water you start trudging through, but the piece of machinery is kind of sticking out in these awkward shapes, and you can start rummaging through it. You do find some pretty interesting things. You get close, you see this big panel, circular panel that's got these optical eyes that are just sort of shifting around. They're kind of looking at you. They just pop out, and they kind of get closer and then retract. You snatch them as they kind of retreat, and you get, I'll go ahead and post it for you. This is called Ocular Replacements. So this is a renown item. Tech Occult. If you replace your eyes with these, you get 2 knacks. You get Quick Calculations, which is the Discern knack, and you can get Reverse Engineer, which is a Technology knack.
Ooh,
so if at any point, so yeah, so that's one thing you see. Is everybody else there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple other things you notice. Duvesa, you see this strange beating heart. When you pick it up, it's part flesh, part machinery. This is looks to be some kind of D8, called a D8. It's what's it called? It gives you an endure knack if you're doing it. So endure to any kind of echo attacks. So anytime you would be taking damage from, damage echo stress from a failed endure test, this thing will kind of suck it up for you.
Nice.
Zerk, you notice this big old hammer. You pick it up, Administrator Gavel. Take a look at it, and it's got this circuitry running through it. And as you pick it up, you can hear like this voice come in your ear as if it's communicating with you somehow. So you get what's called Administrator's Gavel. It's a kill D10. Tech Occult gives you a kill knack for machines, and it also has the tag Conduit. I'll put all this stuff in the chats.
nice.
I think that's it for like really cool items. And there's a bunch of resources. So Morthos, you notice as you start picking up all of these little canisters of some kind. When you start looking at them, they have something in it. You pour a little bit out, drop a little bit of a spell, and all of a sudden it sort of explodes a bit. So you have these canisters of explosives with some sort of explosive liquid in it.
There we go.
So yeah, that's
Right up your alley.
yeah. So that you can use it as a kill item. D10. There's 3 of them, and they're like one shot. So like basically you throw it once and it's gone. And then
Grenades.
what else? Zerk. Zerk, you notice something a little bit peculiar. You see etched into. You don't actually get an item, but you see much like a logo or a serial number etched into a part of the console that just fell. You see the library's insignia.
Okay.
Kethras. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Zerk.
Okay, I was gonna say.
My bad. You see the library's insignia, the insignia of your your masters, and the pulsing light says, "Remember, deliver. Remember, deliver." Yeah. So that's the loot pile.
Sweet.
Does it look like a place to plug in the flash drive?
No, they wanted you.
It just seems like he wants me to bring it back.
He wants you to bring it specifically to the library. He's asking you for a favor.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look around, you can see that there's one of the locations of those pieces of machinery, a cave has opened up, and there's like a little river. It begins to widen out, likely worth exploring at some point. Could potentially lead you somewhere. The other ones have quickly, begun to stitch up as if the heart is kind of repairing itself. But there's this one entrance, in addition to the one back to Athane, that seems to head somewhere else. Might be worth.
Are there any more of these consoles that the guy's consciousness are tied to that we can find around?
Whenever you go to them at this point, there are actually plenty. When you go into different buildings, there's a variety of consoles. Everything's depowered.
Okay.
The system is down.
The meaty heart that's poking out through the floor. I do want to take a bite.
Okay.
Me too.
All right, so the two of you take a bite. Go ahead.
Down on all fours like dogs, just
Okay.
munching on the heart.
So as you're munching at the heart. Morthos, as you get down on your hands and knees to kind of reach down and rip the heart out, you see something moving in the rubble of the machinery of not one of the ones you exploded, but maybe one of the others. You see something moving about, and you see this strange kind of slithering starfish just pull out from underneath. And it sees you like on your hands and knees going down to bite with your mouth, bite into the heart itself. And it just, with this big singular eye, just blinks heavily, and then you can see it kind of recoil in horror.
I'll hold off my bite, and I want to
Bite it.
go.
Eat the starfish instead.
Bare minimum, I want to go say hi to my new starfish friend.
Okay.
At the opposite spectrum, I want to go take a bite out of my new starfish.
Okay.
It's a young Morthos.
Go ahead. Go ahead and roll compel, and you can roll wild or cursed, one of the two.
I don't have any of those, so.
Come here, little buddy.
While all of this is happening, I'm
Okay.
leaning all of this to the woman too.
Okay.
Like, this is what we do when we're down here.
So as you
look at them eating.
You come over, and then did you try to talk to it, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk to it first.
Okay, so it kind of looks at you, and there's no eyelids, so it's just this really big eye just kind of staring at you. But you can see two of its arms slither up and just slap you on either side of your face, like suction cup to your ears, and you start to hear some kind of like language beginning to pour into your ears. It's
That's
just
exciting.
as it's trying to communicate with you, and it takes a while. It's like going through, and then it's looking at you and seeing your lack of recognition, and it's getting really, really, really frustrated. But eventually, it clicks on something.
Yes.
And it starts to describe this awful existence that it had, as it's describing this long and beautifully winding, circuitous river on which it and its kind have been living for generations at the bottom in relative peace and seclusion. And then it starts to describe these mechano-crabs like coming and ripping it terribly from it and beginning to use it in all sorts of awful ways. And so it's just kind of getting this entire story off into your ears, and you're just, it's like it's covering your ears and telling you this long and sad, tragic story. And it ends with gratitude, which is utter gratitude for freeing it.
I'm gonna hug the giant starfish thing.
And it,
Take a bite.
I'll walk up behind it, take a bite of it.
and it turns around with one of its other arms and smashes Zerk.
Like, no, we're friends now.
And it will also convey to you a specific route if you were ever to explore this river. And what I'm going to say is that you all have, without having to go down this river, you have already formed a connection. And so because of this communication, without having gone on this delve yet, if you decide to delve down that river, you already have a connection, meaning I'll cut the resistance in half, so it's shorter than normal. And then it will bid you adieu, it will slide off you, and it will go in between that hole that's now there into the water and start swimming away, or like walking
Now
away
that's
into the
not
water.
there to judge you. Proceed.
Yeah. No, we were. Listen, I'm not gonna it. Didn't like that I was gonna bite the heart, so I'm gonna hold off.
Okay.
Did you say there's a cave?
Can you?
Yeah,
Can
that's
you
what I
hold
went
on?
into. There's a cave opening, and you can look in it, and you can see that there's like this like winding river
River, okay.
path. Yeah,
Okay. I was looking for a tree.
yeah. If you go inside, and if you start looking around, you can see that immediately on the inside, there's a lot of refuse that has been piled up. Like it's been there's been some sort of filter. You see, there's mechanisms on the other side of this as well that look to have also suffered from the explosion. Likely some kind of filtering thing. It definitely isn't wanting to send all sorts of dirt and grime and things up. The more you go in, you can see like lily pads, and you can see like weeds coming up, and you can see this tiny little this little piece of greenery. It's kind of reaching up, and the minute you get close and you have some sort of torch or mage light, it'll kind of move up like and sort of lean in its direction. It doesn't say anything, but you can see like the bulb of the head kind of lifts up and just sort of leans in your direction where the light is.
I'm gonna have a full-on conversation with this little tree.
Okay.
Which it doesn't respond, but that's what Duesa does.
Okay.
While she's like having a conversation with it, but kind of doing the whole like digging around it and like wrapping, the roots and base and some sort of.
The whole time, the reporter Rixenda, who's been following you around, and she's just writing the whole thing, and you can see that she's like covered in like blood here. She's got like burnt clothing and stuff. She's got little bits of screws and nuts and bolts stuck in her hair from the various explosions, and she's got like this terrified look on her face the whole time, but she's just sticking with the job.
Poor reporter.
Yeah, seriously. Who else
She's gonna write a bestseller.
Well, everybody we've brought with us has been absolutely thrashed,
Yeah, it's been pretty rough.
except for not actually dying.
So you spend some time looking around. There's really nothing. I mean, you could literally spend weeks and weeks going through all these buildings if you really wanted. But
I feel like it wouldn't be entertaining.
but you get the sense that should people matriculate here, it's possible that they could inhabit it in some way if they wanted to. Otherwise, at a certain point, if there's no one here, if there's no consciousness powerful enough or no group, the heart will begin to overtake it. So
It does seem
something
like
to
a
consider.
fairly advanced space. Perhaps the haven above could move down below.
Should we go back up or?
Yeah, does it seem
Down.
Did it seem like the water and all that was coming from here, or?
The water was coming from a variety of places. So you get the sense that it was probably tapping the river, but you would probably surmise that the other locations also was tapping into some underground water. You know of the slumbering depths, so more than likely that's one of the places it was tapping, and there could have been other places as well, because there were multiple spouts that were coming out, these streams. All of them seem to have been pulling lubrication from different places.
Let's go closer to the heart.
I guess from the
Yeah.
haven,
We're almost
mean-
there. Let's do it.
the first place that we were at.
First
it
place you were
was
at was a
flooded.
Thane. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Closer to the heart.
you see like occasional drips of water coming down from the path that you took, and while you're watching, you can see like there's stuff like kind of climbing down it, like moving down itself, but you don't see the water just suddenly vertically going up. Seems as if whatever was holding this spherical place in its kind of weird anti-gravity is not really working anymore, and gravity is more normal, and you have like these curved underbottom of a city. But as you're looking up, you can see that this large creature, this reptilian creature, nearly falls on top of you, Kethras, and looks in your direction with like 12 eyes and snaps at you, and then scutters away and starts moving down into the center of the where the pool is, where that administrator thing is. You see this alligator just begins to chomp on a bunch of the leftover tech that's there, just like eating just eating all of it. and it looks a lot like the creature that you saw when you were up in a thane.
So we can assume that there's been some drainage above.
A little bit, but you do remember that the water hadn't quite, like, it's likely, if it's going to recede, it'll probably recede more naturally over time as opposed to just draining down into the hole. It's
not going to be pulling the plug on the bathtub.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. If it recedes at all, it would do it over time.
Don't worry, we'll get a little pump up there, and somebody's got to stand there for the rest of all time, just pumping.
Okay, so we're not going to tell them everything's fine. We're going to go deeper. We're going to delve.
Yeah, they're safe now, right?
Yep.
And
I agree. Delve.
We didn't have any other obligations. I mean, they've got burnt those.
Burnt those.
We just have the reporter that we're dragging.
My bowl
with us.
also. I would like to have my delving bowl.
Okay.
Well, there's no good way to get them down here, is there?
You can, on your way back up, you can like leave handholds and footholds. You know that it was easier at the top when it was like a bunch of ledges that you can hop down, but at a certain point it was just kind of a straight vertical drop. But you could potentially go back. I would say, Zerk, if you're spending at any time going more through the schematics and the handheld thing, you would get a general sense of where they were pulling some of this stuff from. And apparently, this specific delve goes in the direction of Gasling Plain, and that it describes some kind of damming mechanism near Gasling Plain, which you remembered as that kind of that weird ashy place where there's like the ashy liquid. I'm not sure if Matt was here for that episode, but
I think I might have missed that one.
Yeah, but that's the one where like Morthos met the crazy woman, and that's the one where there was the Gnoll that had the cook, and there was the thing. Morthos's face was on the cliff face.
Was he
and
there for? He was
older Morthos.
I thought he was there for part of it.
He was there for the second part. I think the second.
I missed
part.
your face on a cliff face.
Yeah,
I think you missed the first.
Because the second part's where he met his relative. I thought.
Auntie.
Right. And so you could in the specifically the auntie was on a delve between Gasling Plain and Hallow.
Okay.
And you know that Duvesa needs to go to Moongrove, and Moongrove is on tier 3. Gasling is on tier 3. So if you would go to Gasling, you're definitely going to tier 3, which is further towards the heart.
It's the way to go.
Okay.
Stick my radar fork in the heart, and we go.
Okay. So you see Zerk burst through the cave and start heading in that direction, and you guys already have a connection. So the resistance for this is only 5 now with the connection. So you're only, because it was a resistance of 10 cut in half, so it's a D. So it's only got 5. The delve's only got 5 resistance, so we could probably knock it out super fast before we cut out tonight. If you guys want. If you guys
Sure.
Bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm running through I passed my
I'm a little tear for my bowl though.
delve.
I'll miss it.
vision.
Listen, your bowl and my Burnthos, they're in a safe place right now.
I hope so.
So when you move out, you can see that there's very quickly no place to walk. It becomes very much a river. And so you look over at that giant pile of refuse and trash, and you can see that there's all sorts of things that you could perhaps string together, combine together to make something floatable to move down this river. Otherwise, swimming it might be a bit difficult for a long period of time, but like very quickly, it's just water. So if somebody wants to make a discern tech, you could try to make some kind of functional raft to move down the river.
I have those.
Go for it. So you start going through.
There you go.
Right off the bat.
Grief.
What's your so
You're like, I see.
your delve is normally like a D8, is that right? Or D6?
D6. Yep.
All right, so kick it up 1 to D8 and then roll it. Yay, poison.
I see that.
Okay, and that's
You
and honestly,
crush it.
the power of a
crush it.
connection. Between Zerk spending a little time constructing this surprisingly adept boat. This is something very difficult for my podcast players. They're not good at making boats.
Roll poorly at repairing boats.
But you managed to find all sorts of pieces of driftwood that you're able to string together pretty easily. And it takes maybe an hour or two to kind of collect all the materials, and another hour to rope it all together. But once you get on, it's pretty easy. And then you consult with Morthos, and Morthos conveys the idea of the of where the specific starfish had to go, manages to guide you down this split in the river where you can see that had you gone the wrong way, might have had you dealing with this horrible rapid place where you could have swirled around and smashed against the rocks. So it certainly made it a little bit easier for you. At a certain point, you can see tentacles start to swat out at you, but you had picked up so much speed that they're not able to grab you as you just hurl right past it. There's some sort of creature in there. It looks different than the tentacles that you saw in the starfish. And eventually, you come to this dam in the water, this large cement and metallic dam where a bunch of inert and no longer functioning mechano crabs are lurched around it. You get out of the raft, climb up over top of it, and when you look out, you can see that you are on this desolate cliff face, but there is a walled-off lake that seems to be being fed by this ceiling-high waterfall that's like kind of pouring this strange, ashy-colored water into it. When you look around for a way up, you can see this staircase that cuts up, and you go up like one more level, and you can look out in the distance about a half a mile away is that small collection of stilted homes in that long hut where you all had actually spent time. And you realize that you are literally on top of the cliff that has Morthos's face like etched like artwork into the side of it. You work your way down, hit the long hut, and we can end it there. And we'll sort of end there if you guys want. And
Nice.
That was the
Stuff,
fastest delve ever.
it was D10 resistance, connections, and retracing steps. It's supposed to be easier, and
I'm going to carry over my pre-delve stuff because they didn't even need it.
Yeah. So let's check your beats. Duvesa, I think you were good on the plant thing. I'll give you credit
I have to bring
for
it back to a haven.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I'm actually treating this place like a haven. It's not official, but I made it. I actually added that to this place. So
The lawn hut bit of it is, right?
What's that?
The lawn hut.
Yeah, the long hut's a haunt. But I'm treating this more like a weird town on the ocean. Kethras, you have to do a favor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we got to the betrayal though.
No.
Morthos, that alligator's just been swimming along, following you guys in the river. They're just kind of nosing along, just kind of waiting around.
My buddy now. I need to go feed it some more food.
And you got your communicate with something of the heart with the starfish. Tarnished, you got the oculars,
Yep,
which will,
I cleared that one out.
and then refuse to back down. I think that's fair. I think it's pretty fair.
Good.
It almost killed you.
At our peril.
Just a minor too. Like that's just a minor. Almost killed him. And then Matt, you got your renowned piece of equipment with the gavel.
Right, the gavel. Okay.
Yeah, you're good
How
there.
great would it be if you
Did I
died
get
to get
the-
that minor point?
Show the woman the thing too,
Uh,
or is it another one for that one?
I mean,
Another episode.
if you spend no, that's okay because you picked that last time too, didn't you?
Yeah,
This is 2 eps. No, I mean,
Yeah.
I think she's been following along with you during the trip
She's
down the
seen
river.
a lot about the heart.
Yeah, she's
Last 2 episodes.
yeah. I mean, she's been in the shadows the whole time. But yeah, I think we're okay with that.
Seen some shit.
Okay, so I mean, you know that Duvesa has to go to Moongrove, which is connectable to Hollow, but there's also other ways out of Gasling. So you guys could always just delve in a different direction out of Gasling and see if you can find your way to Moongrove, or you can go Gasling to Hollow, which you've done before, and that's where Zerk met his auntie. And then you can do Hollow to Moongrove, so that's an option. to Gasling, Hallow, Moongrove, or just leave Gasling and see what you find. That's the other option. And Kethras needs to go to the library, which I would say you know where it's at. Kethras, that's why I have it on the map. It's this thing that I'm pinging. That's it. Also on tier 3. Very, very, very close to the heart. So.
This one?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I just hadn't put the names on it yet. Okay, so let me move your. I put this little yellow pin to track where we're at. All right.
Saw that.
Getting closer.
So is the middle heart square
is-
like a place you can go?
Yep.
Or
If you go there, you're not the same when you leave. Yeah. So if you
That's okay.
have you seen Annihilation?
Oh
Yes.
man.
You know how like
just recently, I watched it like a week
such a good
ago.
movie, and it's a good series too, actually. Books, the Far Reach trilogy. Anyway, so when you go, you know how she comes out and she's not the same. Like everyone kind of goes in and they become something else. Like that's basically what the heart is. So,
I couldn't tell if it was saying like they're changed or if it wasn't actually them that came out.
they definitely are changed coming out. Like it's definitely not Oscar Isaac. Like it's a completely different person. Because he got blown up. Spoiler alert.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, we're getting near the end. There's 2 landmarks I definitely want to hit. Moongor being one that'll start piecing together some of this, and then there's we'll see how we get into the heart. So kind of curious to see how this goes. But that was fun. Nearly killed somebody tonight.
Yeah.
We got a
Yeah.
really good
Really
hard
good.
That was the
time.
most at risk we've been, I think.
Combat can get hard. Yeah, combat. Like we've been
Yeah,
doing so
and
much
especially-
exploration that we haven't really done a ton of combat.
Well, and then when the reroll's worse than the original fail,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you got
I know.
10.
And I kept rolling 10s and 9s. I had a
keep
lot of
doing
rolling.
that in games where I'm like, oh, look at me helping. Look at me not helping.
Yeah, that's a rough.
There's
that
no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing.
Literally got him killed.
The odds were against doing worse than a 3.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's quick plug stuff this week. Chuck, what do you got going on again?
Defenders of Cobalt, we've got Tiny Dungeons, we've got Mutant Crawl Classics, we've got Joe's 5th edition game. Defenders of Cobalt, all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, and Matt, Grim Perilous.
We got Mutineer Zero on Saturday night on twitch.tv/Grim and Perilous Plays at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Perfect. And Melissa, us.
Adventures in Lollygagging. We've got our Unsettled Stem on twitch.tv/ttrpg on Thursday. And then we've got our Mutineer Zero Gen Lab Alpha on Saturday back here on this channel.
And then check out Chuck and I on Sunday for Shadowrun over on the Tarnished-DMG TV.
Yep.
I think that's probably around 9 Central.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of fun playing that one. Playing with Bert and Christopher from Two Old Men. Was it Two Old Guys?
Two Old Guy Games.
Two Old Guys Games. There we go.
And then Bert's from Of Steam, Steel, and Murder podcast.
All right. So thanks for all of you that hung out tonight. Thanks for the bits. Thanks if you're watching this on YouTube or on VOD later. We will see you next week, same time, same channel. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you all.